All right, so last but not least, we will be going over linear regressions. As tedious and possibly annoying as linear regressions may be on the computer, they are tenfold more annoying when you must do them by hand. I took management decision sciences last semester, and throughout the last few weeks, we had learned how to do regressions with a ridiculously, absurdly gigantic formula and only to find out within in the last 2 or 3 meetings of the class that there was a function on the computer to do regression analysis in which you didn't have to go through this arduous formula. One thing I will say before we get into this though is that you should know that, as I told you before, in the business world, the Microsoft platform is the most generally accepted one in terms of working with Excel. But in Excel, you must use a data analysis tool pack to do linear regressions. With the Microsoft version, there is an analysis tool pack you can use right up here in the top right corner that you can't see. It says data analysis. You must go in there and open up your analysis tool pack as well as your solver. And if you don't have those add-ins in, then you must look up the instructions to make sure that you have the add-ins inside. On the other hand, if you do use a Mac computer, you must know that these add-ins are not actually included with your Excel program. What you need to do is download an outside program called Stat Plus. That's StatPlus. Stat Plus is an outside linear regression model builder that's a completely different program from Excel. And what it does is you input the information, your x-axes and your y-axes, like I'll be showing you shortly, into that program, and then what it does is it spits out a linear regression for you back into a separate worksheet in your Excel model. So it isn't the worst thing. At the end of it, it does actually give you what you need in the place that you need it, but you just have to initiate the contact outside of it in a different program. So this is linear regressions. I hope I can help you out here. So like any chart, when you want to start off, what you need to first do is select your data. You'll see here I'm going to data analysis. I'm going to do a regression. Um, like I said, when you start with any sort of chart or anything like that, you must your select your data that you're going to have. So for my X input range, I will be using building size. And then for my Y input range, I will be using sale price. So first I'm going to highlight the building size under column G. I'm sorry, I did that the other way around. It was the sale price in input X and the building size in input Y. But you'll see, obviously, like I just said, you highlight both parts and add them into your inputs. When I go back up here to select it, you'll see I selected input range. I already have that selected for sale, and then input range for X is obviously G. So once I scroll all the way down, you'll see that once you click that, it's added because you can either. Let me pause that. Let me go back a second just to explain something for you quickly. As you see here, your input range, you can either type it in, or when you use this little button here, it actually lets you select from your graph. And then once you pull down and select, it knows the range that you've selected for your input. So after you do that, it's going to take all this information that you've given it, and it's going to run your regression. You've got to make sure everything that you want is checked off. It's normally, in my experience, checked off to how I need it, but yes, you'll see everything that I did need is there. So you hit OK. It's going to run your regression analysis and open it up in a new worksheet. So here you are. You have your linear regression, like any other worksheet or table in Excel or anything like that. You want to make sure you format all your rows and columns correctly so that everything fits. Even the charts that come up with it, if you look up top on this top right here, this is, what is it called? I'm so sorry, everyone. The name of it is slipping me right now, but on the bottom is the best fit line, and then on the top, oh man, I know I'm going to lose points for this, but it is also, I also run it with what is the word I'm looking for? Oh, I'm losing it, guys. Oh, jeez, let me scroll back for a second. I apologize. What would it go? Yes, a trend line. I'm sorry. Yes, a trend line. What I do is I add trend lines to my my two different charts, because you'll see on this trend line it's actually completely horizontal because there isn't much of a change in the residuals, but with the sales there's a bigger change and the slope is going up. But this, like I said, the name of this chart is slipping me, but right here is your best fit line. um, but what we're trying to figure out here is a specific equation that our professor has given us. In that equation, he wants us to find out the average sale price. That equation, like I said, we use the coefficients. The average sale price per square foot. I'm sorry. Yes. So what we use is the equation that we take from this from the data that we've gotten in the regression. So if you see over here at the intercept, you see coefficients intercept. This coefficient is what you attach to the data that you're trying to use. So you're going to see that I set up a couple different square footages that I would like to test this regression on. So the equation will end up being the intercept times the building size times the square footage that I select. So I'm going to add in I believe it 3,000, 5,000, and 10,000. Yes, 3,000, 5,000, and 10,000. And then the equation, which I'll be listing out for you shortly, or writing out for you shortly, is going to be the intercept times the building size times whatever square foot it is that you select. Now, normally, some folks would tell you, and even I would tell you if I knew, but folks would tell you that you could do this equation and then use the fill bar to pull down the same formula. Now, in doing that, you have to slide in the currency function. You have to, you need to put the fact that you want dollar signs in there, and however it's supposed to work, I personally can never get it done. So I use what we like to call the old-fashioned way to get this step done. But I just do it 3 times in a row. So right here, I've written out the equation for you, because just like when you have a legend on your charts, or your labels and your titles, you want to have your equation there, because the people that are reading your regression or any Excel chart that you have aren't always going to have all the information that you have. So you want to treat any presentation or any chart that you give someone with the assumption that they have no idea what you're doing. So here you can see the square foot and the associated sale price, but without this equation right here, you'll never actually know how I got that. So here, like I said, the equation I will put is the intercept times the building size times the square footage that I've selected. So here I did B17 times B18 times G25. And then for the others, it'll be B17 times B18 times G26, and so on and so forth. And in doing that, I have my sale prices that I want. I'm sorry, the sale prices per square foot. So in doing this, the regression shows you the different possibilities you can have. Um, the different possibilities you can have off of data that you've already been given. So in doing a regression analysis, you can see trends, you can see future possibilities, and you can see the things that you can see the way things might go. Um, I'm not the hugest fan of regression. Um, I think it could be a bit tedious, but I think it's also pertinent. Notice I'm putting my R squares over here. My R score is very important. That is actually the factor that runs. I'm sorry, that is actually the equation that gives you these slopes, so you can see how the trend works. But yeah, those are regressions. Those are your answers. Remember, like I said, a very important part is to always show your equations so people know where you're getting your answers from. But yeah, when you start doing it, just be sure that you put in your information right. Be sure that you select your right axes that you like, because if you don't, your regression is going to come out all sideways. And like I said, format your stuff. It should be so that it's presentable and legible and easily readable. Like I said, I know this stuff's complicated. Truthfully, I may not even be the best at it, but I know how to get by with it, and I hope I was able to help you in a small way. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorials, and I appreciate your time in letting me convey what I've learned in MIS this semester to you. Thank you.